Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry for the delay. There was a technical glitch in my laptop, so I couldn't connect. So I hope you can all hear me. Just put a thumbs up, maybe. And thanks a lot for joining in. I'm so glad to meet you again. A few names I can already see. We have been together in other workshops as well. So today's workshop will be a wrap up of the previous days which you had been having with O3 and Gargi. I hope it contributed to your learning and helped you grow. So today I'm going to talk about a few art-based therapies which are used in mindfulness. In fact, it's like an integration of art-based therapies into mindfulness. So I have a very short PPT, but I'll be discussing three whole techniques, and one will be there for your homework. So for those who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Riya Das. I'm a consultant psychologist and have been practicing for 15 years as a school counselor primarily. But I also am into private practice. And my keen area of interest is art-based therapies. So with that thought, I'll take you and proceed with today's class for the next 1 hour. I hope you all have your art materials and everything ready with you. And it would be great if a few of you all can turn on your cameras. In fact, I would love to see all of you on screen. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks a lot. So I'm sharing my screen, and I hope it's visible to all of you. Okay, so today would be the conclusion class, and of course, we'll be connected through the group. I'm going to discuss three tools today on art therapy, which will help you enhance your mindfulness practice. So this is what we are going to look at today. We are going to look at MBTA, which is the short form of mindfulness-based art therapy. Its brief history. There will be an icebreaker. Then we are going to do the breathwork paint, followed by guided visualization. And as an assignment, going to get as affirmation practices, which I'm going to discuss in the end. Okay, and then we wrap up the class and give you more insights into how you can proceed with your certificates. So with that, I move on. So this is a basic overview what mindfulness is, what art therapy is, and what mindfulness-based art therapy would be. So mindfulness, can anyone tell me like what you have learned or what you understand by mindfulness in maybe a short line, 1 or 2 lines? Yes, anyone would like to volunteer for this?
Ma'am, now and here, being present in the present moment.
Okay, being present in the present moment. Okay, that's a nice phrase. And what else? Is it only being present, or is it, there's a word, a keyword here right in front of you on the screen? What can it be?
Being mindful of whatever is happening around us and what thoughts are coming in our mind. Not going in future or not going in past. Just being here with our thoughts. Mindfulness.
All right. Is my screen changing? Which I can't see on my phone. Is it changing? Okay, I'll reshare it because it's not showing, I guess. Okay, there's some lag with the system. I understand what is wrong with this today. Can you see now? Okay, let me just proceed because okay, so mindfulness, as you all were talking about, it is basically bringing awareness to one's thoughts and emotions and surrounding without much judgment. So, how do you think art therapy can help in this? We have learned about breath work, we have learned about certain activities which we can do in order to become more mindful. But then, how can art therapy, and those who don't have any knowledge about art therapy, is basically art interventions or taking up certain art supplies and working on paper using colors, art materials, drawings, sketches, scribbles, in order to express yourself in the most non-verbal way. And it is not about the end product, it is more about the process which you go through in order to either experience catharsis or understand, have a deeper meaning to your existence, or understand more about yourself through these art materials or the art forms. So art therapy in crux, which I've told you, it's all about the process using art materials. So that's the simplest possible way I can tell you. So, what do you feel? How can art therapy basically help in mindfulness? How can it help in mindfulness? Anyone who would like to talk about it?
Ma'am, I would like to give it a try.
Yes, please.
So through art therapy, we are mindful about the textures, the strokes, brush strokes, we say, the color changing or the color mixtures, what we are drawing or what we are figuring, what figure we have drawn, or the form that we are getting into it. So being mindful about or the process itself, as you have said, it is based on the process and not the outcome. So we are not jumping into the future that what would be the outcome of this process. We will basically more be focused on the process, like what we are doing, how we are doing it. So that basically will help us to be mindful about the process and help
Okay.
us be mindful.
Okay. Thank you so much for wrapping this up. But how many of you have experience in art-based therapies? Okay, nice. Who else? All right. So a lot of you have. In fact, I can see a lot of thumbs up coming up. Okay, great. So art-based therapies, have you ever used in mindfulness? As we are talking about mindfulness, like being in the moment, not being judgmental. Have you practiced art-based therapies in mindfulness? Anyone here who can share an experience before we jump on to the techniques? Because I would like to know the process, how the entire thing is done, even from your end. Okay.
Ma'am, not
Yes.
exactly what you are saying, but yes, as a school counselor, when I tell my children to make something or color something, I do get a little idea about them. I might be wrong here, but the way they are doing the strokes, the first color they pick up to color, how are
Okay.
they? How are they? Are they very very quick to make and show me, or they're very being patient with their artwork? And the way their strokes are going out of the box, or inside the box. That's what, but not
Wonderful.
exactly the art therapy or mindfulness based art therapy. But yes, that's my observation when I give them some art activity.
Right, right. Wonderful. So basically shifting their focus from rumination or maybe hyperactivity or restlessness to something more concrete and in the moment, if I'm not wrong. So, in mindfulness based art therapy is basically the two forms put together in order to make a person more aware of their own emotions, more aware of their surroundings, and without judgment. They are in the flow with their experiences, whatever they're experiencing. So, a lot of times overthinking patterns, rumination, everything reduces us to a point where we can't function properly and we keep on thinking what ifs. A lot of what ifs happen. Okay, so in order to shift your focus from those what ifs to the present moment without maybe cursing yourself or without not being judgmental about certain things is what maybe a few art based therapies tools will help you to proceed. Okay, so we'll be exploring these three techniques. I'll be giving you these techniques with their process, with their detailed process, and we are going to experience it also. Um, for that, we'll be using certain tools which are kind of taken from art-based therapies. But before getting into it, I would love to share this slide. I hope it's visible now. Yeah. So the history of art-based therapies in mindfulness was introduced in the late 1990s by Malchody. Okay. There has been numerous studies regarding this, and it emerged as an integration of art-based therapies, Buddhist practice, as well as mindfulness practices, which are fused together because they found it way more effective rather than just doing mindfulness practices, and that became more fun and more engaging for a lot of people. I have listed down three of these famous studies. You can go back and research on them. You can Google it up and research on them and try to, connect and find out how they have come up with, their studies and how is it connected to art-based therapies and how can it be used in therapeutic settings. So for the first technique, we are going on the icebreaker technique. What I would love you all to do it is, I'm just giving you 1 minute time, okay? I have a timer with me. I'll just give you 1 minute time and we are banking on the icebreaker, which is the first technique. So what you have to do, just get yourself up or maybe grab something in and around you, which you connect to in less than 1 minute. Okay, so I'll just give you 1 minute to go around your house or go around your space or navigate your desk area or wherever you're sitting and grab a piece of object. Okay, small, big, it's up to you. Take a paper and a pencil and we'll come back as a group. Okay, any questions before we break out? Any questions? No questions? Okay. Okay, so your time starts now. It's 29 right now, so we'll come back within a minute, right? Okay, let's go. Let's get this done. Okay, time's up. Has everyone come back? Just give a thumbs up, please. Okay, okay, cool. Great. So maybe you can write down in the chat box what you have got for yourself. You can also speak. It's up to you. I think if we can make it more interactive, it'll be great. Okay, pink highlighter, pillow, kajal, my water bottle, a lipstick, a lip tint. Great, great, great. Okay. Colors. Oh my God. Interesting. Okay, let's see how this comes up. What else? What else? Colors. Okay. Last thing which we saw was colors and then wristwatch. So how many of you all moved out of your place when I told you, you can go navigate your home within a minute and come back? How many of you actually did it? Or you just grabbed one thing and came up? Be honest, come on. Okay, now you must be wondering what we are going to do with this. Any guesses before we start? Any guesses? Okay. Kamakshi ma'am is saying, not me, was on my table drawer. Thanks for being honest. Okay. I got my soft toy turtle. Okay, interesting. Oh, you're in your class. Anyway, you can just grab one object. A small object will also do. Doesn't matter. I've got this cup. A very plain cup, however. Has anyone got cups here with maybe designs on it? No one? Okay. Has anyone got anything which is, has a lot of designs on it? Can you show us if you can switch on your camera and show us what all things have you got? If we can just briefly show what we have got. Okay. Okay, get inspired by it and paint something. Okay, close, but not exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Color pens will definitely do. No problem. Okay. So let's go with the activity right now. A lot of suspense going on, but a couple of more guesses if possible. Please, can you tell me what can we do with this and how can we implement it in mindfulness? Trust me, this is a very, very, quick on the go method which you can do anywhere possible. And this will kind of hyper focus on the moment and not let you think other things. Okay. Now, breaking the ice, what we are going to do is you're going to take a sheet of paper or on your sketchpad, iPad, whatever you have in hand. It can be a newspaper also with just a marker in hand or a pen in hand. You're going to take the paper. Am I visible? You're going to put the object right in front of you or wherever you have some space, and without looking at the paper, this is the instruction. Without looking at the paper, you're going to draw the object. Okay, so I'm repeating my instructions again. You're going to put the object in front of you, and without looking at the paper, okay, you just have your color pencil, pen, marker, whatever you have. You're going to draw it on the sheet of paper without looking at the sheet. Any questions here? Anything you would like to ask? What do you think this can relate to mindfulness and art therapy? How is it related? This particular uh, technique, where we are doing a blind drawing of the object right in front of us, without looking at the paper. Generally, what do? We kind of copy it, we see it, and then draw it out. But here, what we are going to do is we are going to simply put the pen on the paper, look at the contours of the particular object, and then draw it out in our possible way without looking at the paper. So we don't know what exactly we are drawing. Okay, it is just that we are going with the flow, being hyper focused on the object and nothing else. So we are triggering a lot of neurons in our head and being in the present moment. Okay, so our creative brain takes over our other part of the brain. So it's more like you are looking at it and then just doing whichever way you have to. Okay, so first thing, it will let you loose. Second thing, it will not make you judgmental about anything because you're just not looking at your paper. So you can scribble, draw, whatever you feel like. It can be a very, very bad drawing. Doesn't matter. So it's also teaching you acceptance, about errors, about being more in the moment and not focusing on the errors. Okay, so this is one activity which you can do, and I would want you all to go ahead with whatever I instructed, and maybe you can post it in the group, your drawings, whatever you've drawn. We can just take 5 minutes on this and then take a picture and post it in the group so that everyone can see, okay, how bad we are with our drawings, right? If you want to, definitely if you want to, there's no compulsion, but it will be great to see how we are coming up with our, you know, our process, in fact. Okay.
Ma'am, the group messages are only for admin, so we have to change the settings.
Okay, I'll just check. Was it only for me? I'll just check. Give me a moment, please. Okay, I've changed the settings. Now you can post it. Right? So we'll take a moment. This is the document which will help you to be more, aware of the technique. Okay, someone has already posted. All right. Okay, I'm also trying to do it. So let's see what comes up. Yes, it's a book, and you can maybe journal in how are you looking at it, after completing the task. What are your feelings associated with it? There are a number of things which are listed. You can maybe journal it later for deeper introspection. You'll have a natural tendency to look at your paper, but just don't do it. Okay. It will be just a guesswork of just take 5 minutes time. I'll stop talking. We can all take 5 minutes time and try doing this. Oh my God, this is a bad drawing, but then it's okay. I'll just show you. I tried twice. Okay, so people who have a lot of designs on it, I would love to see what they have done. Can someone talk about how you're feeling about it? What are your observations? Yes, anyone who would like to share what they felt while they were into the task? You can take more time if you want. Yes, Aditi. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, so I'm really mad at my drawing, but then after looking at it, I felt, what did I do? Everything is haywire, but I was actually able to see the picture, the box that I've made with a lot of details. So I was
Mhm.
able to draw the details, but of course the placement was wrong. But that's okay.
Okay, but that's okay. Yes, definitely. And while you were engaging in the process, how did you feel? What all thoughts came up?
As you said that there's a natural tendency to look at the paper, so I did twice, thrice for the placement because I knew that I was going wrong, and that tendency was there. And also, I don't know, but I had this tendency to complete it fatafat with all the details.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing. And who else would love to talk on this? Anyone else?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
ma'am, I observed that when we see and draw, our hand movement is little slow and controlled. But when we are just looking and drawing, it's like a speed up movement of hand. You need to control where to end and where to, without seeing, it's just your judgment through mind where to end. Okay, now I should take a curved turn of my hand to make it a circle. That was it. And after looking at my drawing, I only got one thing, that life is a hit and trial method. You
Okay,
just hit.
okay,
If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't go, you try again.
okay. So you've got a takeaway, but how can we become more mindful if we practice this when we are anxious or maybe worried or when we are ruminating a lot? Your
One,
experience was brief. Sorry to interrupt,
yes,
but your experience was brief since
yes,
it's just a 1 hour session. Maybe you can stretch it
yes.
to having multiple objects, doing a treasure hunt kind of a thing, and taking multiple objects and taking time. It takes generally 15 to 20 minutes of, focusing on the object, understanding where you need to start, where you need to end. That will take up a lot of your headspace into the moment, shifting from overthinking patterns to what is important at this moment, looking at it, focusing on it, looking at the texture, looking at the details, and then without judgment, I'm doing it. Okay, so these are a few questions which you can brainstorm and journal in. This is a prolonged way of reflecting. Okay, and once you start reflecting on these questions, a lot of things come up. Okay, why am I so hyper focused about perfection? We all have this human tendency, because when even after my instruction, I'm pretty sure most of you have caught yourself looking at the paper and then trying to rectify. So this practice every day or maybe very frequently can lead to a very relaxed state of acceptance, that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to be looking at things in a different perspective, and also taking control of your headspace. Okay, so anyone else who would like to share before we move on? Anything else you would like to share about this activity, or how you felt about it?
Ma'am, during the process, the more uh, as I was going with the drawing, I was reminding myself, let it be, it's okay, let it be. Whatever it is, let it be. So I think the
Yes.
process made it be more into let it be kind of statements.
Yes. Absolutely. Let it be. Okay, this is another takeaway then. Yes, Aditi. Yes, you want to say something?
I'm
Anyone
actually,
else? Yes. Yes. Tell me.
yeah, I have learned, I have feel like initially I was still feel difficulty to complete it. Okay, I feel
Mhm.
okay, we can complete it. Whatever happens, we can complete it. I did something. At the end, I can see the outcome. I was not able to see
Mhm.
the process of that, but at least I did something. It is finished, so we can do this. Make a try. That kind of.
Yes, of course. So after this activity, if you have the urge to make it right, I would recommend not to. Okay, because that's the way things are. Much of the time, we don't have control over a lot of things. It's outside our locus of control. And when we are kind of banking on certain incidents or certain uh, happenings around us, we don't have 50% of the control most of the time because there are so many factors around us. But that, as a message, this particular activity will be a reflection of a message that it's okay even if things are not perfectly portrayed to everyone, not perfectly done in the way we expected. Along with the mindfulness of it, there's also a meaning attached to it, which can be very, very personal. So different people have different perspectives as to what they take away from this activity. Okay, here are a couple of responses here as well. It felt very difficult for me to not look at the paper, and since there were no detail, it was easy and turned out good. The next response is, this is the first time I didn't erase or strike my drawing as I wasn't looking at it, and I knew very well I'm making a mistake. So, with this making a mistake, what do you feel? How do you feel mindfulness is related? How do you feel? What would you understand by it? That I know I'm making a mistake, but then it's okay. How would you relate to this? Anything, any inputs? Judgment and acceptance. Okay. Anyone else? There are a lot of people in the class. Please, if you share your insights, it will be a good learning process for all of us, including me.
Ma'am, it is
Yes.
like we know we are doing something which is not right, but we are still doing it because somewhere it has to be done to calm ourselves. Like it is said now that when things are supposed to fall, let them fall. Why are you holding up on them? It's like
Okay.
that.
Yes.
You know if you do it, it will be better. Like if your two friends are fighting, you know you can resolve it, but then there is something ki if you get into it, then it will be a bigger thing, or you know then you will be the one always bringing them together. So if they have to part ways, let them do it this time. Don't be a mediator.
Right, right. I'm trying to be, thank you for sharing. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to be mindful about the process instead of the end product. Yes, of course. That's the crux of art-based therapies. Now, this process has two things. Once you're engaged in this activity, it kind of trains you to be mindful. So if you do it more often, or it is suggested, recommended when you have panic attacks, when you have maybe bouts of anxiety, generalized anxiety, or maybe you are being very aggressive, or maybe you are ruminating a lot, overthinking a lot, this activity will shift you or ground you. This is also a grounding exercise. It happens very quickly, and you can shift your focus from negative thoughts, negative emotions to something which is in the moment, which is the crux of mindfulness. Along with that, the art therapeutic part is acceptance of your mistakes, And sometimes letting it loose, let it be. Someone in the group also mentioned this, that let it be. It doesn't matter. So this is a dual perspective of art-based therapies in mindfulness. So it teaches you a lesson also. It also very subliminally kind of makes you understand what metaphorically this activity might mean. Along with that, it shifts your focus from being in a negative space zone, negative emotion zone, to something which is more tangible, which is more in the moment. Okay. So with that, we are moving on to the next one. If you have any questions, maybe you can drop in. If you have any questions here? I would suggest as an assignment, you do this for 5 days and see how your perspective about your surrounding is changing. Or if you have intense emotions within yourself, how does it quickly dissipate when you take up this task? Okay, so this is basically a very quick fix to your worries, anxiety, and everything, whatever negative you're facing. So I would suggest you as an assignment, this would be your first assignment from my end, to engage in this activity, take up some more time, and then proceed with the particular object or whatever you're looking at, and take multiple objects if possible, right? And along with those introspective questions, if you can journal in, that will give you a whole new perspective about how you feel about this entire situation. Okay, so that will open up a lot of discussion areas. So any questions before I proceed? Okay, I guess there are none. So let me move on to the next part. Okay. Okay. Now this is what we call is breath painting. How many of you are traveling, if I may know? Because this will become a little difficult. Maybe you can listen to the process. Um, While you're traveling, this won't be possible. But those who are at home or in your office or wherever you are in an enclosed space, again, I would want you all to get up and get some natural paints, which can be haldi, which can be tea, coffee, anything. Or if you have your paint already with you, you can bring that as well. The synthetic paint you can get, or natural paints if you don't have paints in your house. So I'll give you a minute's time. Should I repeat my instruction? Any natural paint? How many of you all are there at home? If we can have the group together. So I'm unable to understand because all your cameras are off. It would be great if a few people can switch on their cameras. It will be more interactive. Okay. Okay. So those who are at home, just quickly go and get some paints. That's it. Okay, paint, and we of course need a paper. If you have brushes, you can bring that. Otherwise, your fingers are good enough. Okay, I'm in a car on the move. Okay, you're carrying your paints, but how are you going to do it? Maybe you can park your car for 5-10 minutes and then proceed. Because see, honestly, within a class, within a virtual class, it is very difficult to bring the entire essence of art-based therapies because it's a very hands-on thing. So if you do it, that is also for a brief moment of time. But then I would request all of you to take these up in a much more deeper, much more spaced out way, right? So just a heads up there. If you're in the car, you can maybe park it for some time and then work on it. But I don't know how you're going to get the water. I would be very intrigued to know if you could do this. Maybe you can drop us a message in the group how you did, how you managed. Okay, so this technique is the second lap of things. So the first technique was centering you. getting you or maybe restarting your system on this. So that's an icebreaker. Second one is more to do with your relaxation. So as we talk about in mindfulness that we, progressively relax and bring our minds to focus on one thing at this moment, this will also focus on your breath. And this is extremely effective for any kind of anxiety related issues, any kind of fear related issues, or if you are clueless, as to what you're doing, or maybe too stressed. So this is going to bring your body down, calm your body down to a level where you are triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. So I'll just go technical for 2 minutes here. When we are stressed, when we are in anxiety, when we are, in rumination mode, it's a threat for our brain and body. So what the body does is activate our sympathetic nervous system, which is, trust me, it's not good beyond the point. It is required for our defense, but it's not good for beyond the point. Next thing, what we need to do is bring it down with the help of parasympathetic nervous system. So what this breath work will do is breath work stabilizes your body, centers your body, and gives you that restart where you trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, which is extremely helpful in calming you down. So just keep this little bit of technical stuff in your mind while you're doing this. First thing, what you need to do, I hope your supplies are ready. Anyone who has got haldi? Anyone in the group who has got haldi? Okay, a couple of y'all I can see. Rest of y'all, a coffee would also do. It works wonders if you really like coffee, right? So either coffee, haldi, whatever you have, or even synthetic paints. What I would request you all to do is get hold of a paintbrush, get some water for yourself, okay, because it's more of a fluid art which we are going to do. It's a technique where we are using fluidity and breath work. So your paintbrush, if you don't have a paintbrush, it's okay. You can use your fingertips also, your hands. And I think that is way more better than using a paintbrush because you're using your multisensory systems as well, tactile senses. So what you can do is, if you're using your hands, dip your fingers on in the water and sprinkle it on the paper. Okay, so can we all do it together? If we can just sprinkle it on the paper. I'm just using a little bit of water. May not be too much. It's up to you how much water you use. I'll just take the cup. Everyone thought I have got coffee, but it's full of water for the workshop. Okay, so here I go. I'll just show you how I'm doing it. I don't know whether you can see me. So this is what I'm doing. If you can show me what you are doing, that would be great. You can use your paintbrush if you're not comfortable with touching water. It's okay. And you can tap it gently on the paper. Okay. So now after you are done, what you do is take any color of your choice. Any color will do. Any color. I've got synthetic colors. If you've got haldi, if you've got coffee, wonderful. If you've got ink, that's also great. Okay. Now I want you all to just pause. Your hands are wet, or maybe your paper is wet right now. So I just want you to keep everything away whether you're in your car, office, or wherever you are. Just sit back, relax yourself, relax in the sense, just, let it loose. Okay. Just let it loose. Keep everything on the table or wherever you're sitting. Keep away everything. Don't take anything on yourself. No bag, no phone, no charger, nothing. Not even a key ring. Okay, just take it away and just sit still. Okay, close your eyes. Just close your eyes. You don't need to do anything else. Focus on the sound. Whatever sound you can hear, we close our eyes to focus more and go inside. But we'll just let everything in. Okay, whatever sound, texture, temperature, let it in. Don't stop anything. Even your thoughts, just let them in. Shift your focus, just your natural breathing. Try to focus on how you're breathing. Is it rapid? Is it very slow? If it's rapid, consciously try to get the pace slower. While I count, you will breathe in. While I count again, you will breathe out. Are you with me? Let's do this. Breathe in, 1, 2. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 1, 2. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Count this in your head 5 more times. Focus on your chest moving up and down. And then gradually open your eyes. But just keep on breathing the same way, focusing on your breath, even if your eyes are open. You may come back to your, surrounding, your paper, your things, your table, yourself, the texture, the clothes which you're wearing. Come back to that and still focusing on your breath. Just pick up whatever paint you have, whatever supplies you have, whether it's haldi, whether it's coffee, whether it's synthetic paint. Just keep breathing. And what you can do is wet the paper again. Take some paint in your hand or at the tip of your brush and continue with the rhythm. With the rhythm, you can continue. While you're breathing in, there will be an upstroke. While you're breathing out, there will be a downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke. So I'm going to leave you here for a minute doing upstrokes when you are breathing in and doing downstrokes while you're breathing out. Okay, just be very slow. There's no hurry. Take some more water if you want to, splatter it around, but continue to do this for approximately 3 to 4, 5 minutes. So I'm doing it again, upstroke, as you are working on your paper, try to make your downstrokes longer than the upstrokes. Maybe double the length of your upstrokes. I'm doing it again. Just focus on your breath. Breathing in would be upstroke. Breathing out will be downstroke. After you practice a little, try to make the downstrokes a little longer. Ideally, double. So this is what I did, the blue marks on the pages. If you all can also, after you are done, you can tap around, you can make any other pattern which you want to. But practicing it on paper, the upstroke and downstroke, is a very good way of integrating art into your mindfulness practice, which starts with your breath work as well. So this is basically a breath work transformed onto canvas with colors. And the correct way of doing is breathing in for 2 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds. This is standard, which can vary from person to person. If you can take a picture and show it in the group after you're done. It's great. So you're using a water brush, and that's very, enthusiastic about you. Lovely, lovely. It's more about the process, how you felt. If someone can unmute and talk about it. Anyone would love to talk, if you're okay with it. I wouldn't want you all to engage in conversation right now, but anyone who's ready. You can maneuver your paint in whichever way you want to after you're done with the breathing. Ideally, this should be for 5 minutes. The upstroke and the downstroke one should be for 5 minutes. Ideally. If you do it longer, no harm in it. It's kind of a meditative practice at the same time. A lot of you who have been stressed for a long period of time will feel very, very heavy, and you will want to exhale a lot. Okay, so that's a good sign, because That's how your parasympathetic nervous system is being triggered. Okay, so that's a sign that your parasympathetic nervous system is kind of being aligned to the thing. This is also a grounding exercise. So just a heads up, anyone feeling heavy after this? Okay. You're feeling heavy, okay. So are
No,
you feeling
no, no,
much?
no.
Mhm.
Actually, I was not able to coordinate much with my breath and hand movement.
It's going to
It
take
was
time.
breaking. It was breaking. And yes, today, after doing this exercise, I have found that yes, today breathing deep was not my thing. I wasn't able to inhale and exhale properly.
Okay, that happens. That happens quite commonly happens because when we are busy with too many things around us, when we don't focus on our breath work for which we are living, so that becomes just, taken for granted for all of us. We are just breathing, it's okay. But when we try to focus and align ourselves, because that's the crux of mindfulness, how you're aligning with your inner world, because we're always hyper focusing on what's happening outside. Okay, so don't worry, that's going to take a little bit of time. As you practice, you see, you'll be synchronizing with your breath. Okay, initially it will be difficult for many of us. Okay, so don't feel worried that I couldn't do. It's okay. You can do this more often in order to get into that practice, and bringing an element of art into your breath work kind of detaches you from that boredom. Okay, another phase of breath work, and I have nothing to do. Basically, that's the problem. We are scared of not doing anything, and that's what detaches us more, right? So art therapy here helps you to bind mindfulness into artwork and breath work. So you have
Thank you,
something
ma'am.
to do tangible as well as take control of your breath as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Which- Thank you so much for sharing, which will eventually lead you to become much more calmer and mindful and in the moment and non-judgmental. Okay, so this is a practice. It's not a one-day thing. You just do it once in a while and then push it under the carpet. These are a few practices which will help you to loosen up, trigger your parasympathetic, and make you much more composed and calm and in the moment. Okay, so do it more often. Those who have got tea, I'm wondering what did you do with those tea leaves? If you have kind of sprinkle it on the paper, because coffee melts very well, but tea, I'm very intrigued if you can share. Okay, anyone did with tea or coffee or haldi? We would love to see the pictures in the group. Please post it there. Okay, so many. Okay, thanks a lot for sharing. Also, share your experiences, how you're feeling about it. Does it make sense? Because a lot of tools might not make sense to all of us, but you can always keep on trying. Because again, reiterating, this is just a, out of an hour, I'm trying to pocket 15 minutes for each, but then this should be more prolonged. Okay, I hope I was able to make you more calmer than when you came in. We should have done a check-in, but somehow I missed it. Nevertheless, we'll gradually shift to the next one because we're already, running short of time. So this would be any questions before I move on? I can just take one or two questions if you have anything in mind. Yes, Ritika writes, I'm trying to be mindful about the process. Yes, that's what exactly mindfulness is, the process. And art therapy also echoes the same thing. Okay, so I move on to the next part. Now in this, I'll be playing a very soft music, right? I'm trying to infuse all the elements possible. Smell, we haven't explored yet, but then maybe sometimes in future we can have a workshop on using smell as a mindfulness tool. So we are going to use music now, okay, in order to relax our bodies, be more centered. But that also follows with a series of introspective questions. You may or may not do it. That's up to you. That's optional. Okay. So again, we'll be needing a paper, a few colors. I think that's it. Just give me a moment to keep this away. This is an entirely scripted thing. The script, you're going to get it. You can improvise in your own way. But this follows a few stages which are scientifically scripted. You can follow the exact script when you're talking to someone or when you are doing it for yourself or your family. You can follow this or you can improvise whenever is required, wherever it's required. Okay, so are we all ready? We would need here also to calm ourselves down and center back and close our eyes and just listen to the voice. Okay, so I'm not going to share my video or the PPT. So I'll just give you a minute to recenter yourself. If you're traveling, try to focus on just your breath, and I'm pretty sure everything will phase out. Once I turn on the music, you'll be able to hear the guided visualization. Is the music audible?
No, ma'am, not for me.
No, ma'am.
Is it audible now? No. Just give me a moment, please. Is it audible now?
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it too loud or is it okay? All right. So take a deep breath as we practiced in the last activity. Focus on your breathing. A deep, slow breathe in Exhale, releasing any tension. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw relax, and your mind settle. With each breath, allow yourself to drift into a world of calm and joy. Now let's begin our journey. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a breathtaking meadow, bathed in golden sunlight. The air is warm with a gentle breeze that carries the scent of wildflowers and fresh earth. As you take a step forward, feel the soft, cool grass within your feet, tickling your skin like tiny whispers of happiness. You can see yourself smile. Each step fills you with a lightness, as if the earth itself is cradling you in comfort. Take a moment to feel all of this. The cool grass, soft and gentle. The smell of the earth and the wildflowers. As you look up above you, the sky is a brilliant blue, scattered with fluffy white clouds drifting lazily. A few birds glide overhead, their wings stretched wide, moving effortlessly with the wind. You hear the distant songs, soft, sweet, calming. You smile, feeling the simple joy of being here in this peaceful moment. Look around and feel as if you're there. You are there. As you walk deeper into the meadow, you hear the gentle sound of trickling water. You follow the sound and soon come upon a crystal clear brook, shimmering under the sunlight like liquid diamonds. See yourself kneeling beside it on soft grass. You dip your fingers into the cool water, the soft, cool, flowy water, gurgling as if making music. It's refreshing, like a soft caress against your skin. You scoop some water into your palms and let it trickle over your wrists, washing away any lingering stress. As the water flows, so does your tension, melting into the stream and drifting away from you, far, far away. At this moment, take a deep breath and inhale the scent of fresh, clean air, filling your lungs with pure energy. Take a deep breathe in and breathe out. Standing up, you notice a wide open field ahead of you, filled with thousands of delicate dandelions, those white fluffy flowers, those white fluffy marvels. The golden sunlight makes them glow as if each one is a tiny spark of magic. You step forward into that breathtaking space, feeling the softness of the petals brush against your fingertips. A gentle wind begins to blow, lifting the dandelion seeds into the sky. They swirl around you, floating and dancing like tiny dreams waiting to come true. Each one carries a positive thought, a beautiful memory, a wish made just for you. Take another deep breath. As you see the dandelions dance around you, you close your eyes and make a wish of your own. A simple wish. Something very simple, something joyful. As you exhale, you imagine that wish lifting into the air, carried by the wind, destined to come true. You let it go, believing it will come true. Now, take a moment to reflect on the wish, the space where you are right now, the peace around you, the softness of the ground, the grass, the wind washing your cheeks, the light breeze, the warm sunshine, and the brilliance around you. The smell of the wildflowers, the earth, now place your hand on your heart. Do it physically and feel a gentle warmth spreading from within. It's like a golden light, glowing brighter with each breath you take. This light is happiness, contentment, and pure joy radiating from inside you. Every inhale, this golden glow grows, filling your entire body. With every breath you take, it grows larger and larger, pushing away all the darkness. Your fingertips tingle, your chest feels open and light, and a soft smile naturally forms on your lips. You feel good, calm, refreshed, at peace, and in the moment. do it again. And slowly open your eyes. Slowly become aware of the present moment. The golden light remains within you, a warm presence that you can carry throughout your day. Take a deep breath in and sigh out with ease. Wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. You are here, you are present, and you're glowing with happiness and peace. Okay, just take a minute. If you have been doing this along with me, it's just going to be a zap out of a peace zone. So I don't want to disrupt that. Anyone ready to talk or share your experience? That would be lovely. Or maybe you can write it down in the chat as well if you don't feel like talking. Anyone okay to share your experience? No one? Okay, how did you all feel if we ask direct questions? How are you feeling when you were into the process or when out of it right now at this moment? What are your feelings associated with the process? Anyone? Anyone? Relaxed, okay. If there were no technical glitches, if you would have been listening, it should have made you more centered and relaxed and, in the moment. This is a guided imagery technique. The next part to it would be to draw out what you saw in your in your visualizations. Very calm, very comfortable, relaxing. Thank you for sharing. So what you can do is the next step to it is to draw out what you saw. This will take time. So this class is not maybe a good option to sit and draw, but take out some time as an assignment and draw out whatever you saw within those few minutes. How did you feel? What all things did you see? So it's like a visual, tactile, and auditory stimulation, which is also helpful in mindfulness. So there are numerous guided imagery scripts available. You can use this more with yourself. Maybe you can record your own voice or ask someone whom you're like, you like their voice, you ask them to record it. And whenever you are in a distressed state, you can listen to this and instantly calm down your body. Okay, because that guided imagery keeps you very much aligned into that space. Okay, when you try to meditate, many a times what happens, our mind is all over the place and we are unable to meditate and become very restless. So it is not a cup of tea for everyone. So this particular technique is a training for mindfulness where you are guiding the person, guiding the client, the individual, in order to center themselves to a particular chain of events. At the same time, you're relaxing them down. And this becomes an art therapy practice where you are putting down on paper whatever you experienced. So that experience will become very, very tangible to you. You know, that's like a safe space which you're exploring. That's a calming space which you're exploring through your, sensory stimulations, maybe virtual, but it's a sensory stimulation, which in turn will help you to relax. Now, the art therapy part comes with a lot of introspective questions, which will help you to understand what is happening in your mind. Or when you're trying to relax, there might be many experiences where you feel uncomfortable. That's an indication that these are more required for you. You know, your mind, your brain is perceiving threat or calm as threat. That is something very foreign to your brain. So that indicates that you have an immense necessity to calm yourself down. Your fight and flight response is immensely triggered. Anyone who has felt restless is an indication that your body is always in a fight and flight mode. So danger means comfort to you. Or if everything is going fine, your brain cannot perceive it as a reward. But on the contrary, it is something unknown and not rewarding for the brain. So you start panicking again or start feeling apprehensive about things. Okay, so this might indicate that you have too much of dopamine inside you or fight and flight responses inside you, which needs careful consideration. So, a little bit of whatever we discussed, maybe if you can start doing it, you'll see over a period of time, your restlessness, whenever you are trying to focus, trying to relax, that becomes more acceptable to your body. Okay, I think a couple of y'all have written a few comments. In the beginning, it was a bit restlessness, but towards the end, I felt very light, relaxed, and peaceful. Yes. So I was excited when we started smiling and relaxed. However, by the end, my head felt heavy, and I realized I really need a break. Yes, so true. So this is an indicator. Whenever you're trying to relax, if you feel restless, that's an indicator that you need more of these practices. Not to worry, this is just your brain of your brain telling you that this is something very foreign to me. I don't generally get into a stress-free zone. Okay, so you need to train your brain in order to think that no, everything is fine, I'm relaxed and I'm doing good. So that's kind of a part of a neuroscience which is also involved in mindfulness. But going back to the art-based therapy, this will be your assignment from my end again, the second assignment, which would be to draw out what you saw. If you've already done it in a hurry, you can post it in the group. But nevertheless, take out some time and draw out and also reflect on the reflective questions which I'm going to send you in the PDF. So those are very personal questions which cannot be discussed in a group setting. But if you have any further queries, you can always reach out and discuss further. That's not a problem. But do reflect on the reflective questions which are associated with this. Draw it out. Post it in the group for other people to see if you are comfortable. Because then, when we are working as a group, everyone feels that yes, we are in the same thing and experiencing similar things, which will give another level of motivation to introspect and work hard. Okay, so this was it from my end, but there's this next assignment which I would want you all to work on, which are affirmations. Okay, so affirmations is also a mindfulness practice where we have seen a lot of neuroscience backed talks where they say that speak good things and good things will happen. Anyone can explain that? Can anyone explain that? I'll just take 5 more minutes and then I'll discuss about the assignments. This is also part of it. Anyone who can explain? Think good things and good things will happen. Yes, 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 ma'am. Tell me.
Like if we repeat it to ourselves, if we are scared of a situation, we repeat it to ourselves that I'm brave, I'll go through it. It's just a 2 minute task. We do get through it and we don't get to know it. So yes, that is it. Today I will stay happy, or it's my happy day, and we go with that flow only, with that mood only.
Right? So just a few minutes back, which I was talking about the brain, our brains are really very stupid, It'll just show you what you are, kind of replaying in your mind. So what happens here is if you think good things, that's an inner dialogue. That's a self-talk which we are engaging in. And the brain perceives it as a threat or something rewarding. So if you keep on telling yourself that I'm important, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, something which is more tangible and more doable, at that point of time the brain perceives it as a reward rather than a threat. The moment you say that no, I'm good for nothing or I can't do this, the brain perceives it as a threat and puts you into a stress response, which is definitely not good for your cognitive skills. So what happens here is a cycle. The moment you break that thought away, you break that pattern away, that's the time when your brain perceives it as a reward and keeps on letting you feel the entire thing, letting you think about more creative aspects because your brain is fully functioning at that moment. So it's like a very scientific thing which happens. Now, affirming means what? I am very sure that this is there. Okay, so affirmations can work wonders when you are writing it down, when you are working on it, when you're expanding it. Okay, so I'm just going to share quickly the last part of this and tell you what exactly to do. Pick out any affirmation. You can Google it, you can write your own affirmation on the page. Okay, or maybe you can write your initials and write an affirmation that will kind of fix it more concretely. I'm enough, I'm resilient, I believe in myself, I matter, I'm loved. And there can be innumerable affirmations available. So just pause, think what is applicable for you, what is a good quote for you. You can also do it through quotes. Write it down and around it make certain patterns. Any pattern which you feel is fit for it. Okay, make certain patterns which are decorating the page in and around the affirmation. Okay, it can be any design. There is no hard and fast rule that it has to be in a particular way. It can be calligraphy, it can be bold letters, it can be small letters, it's up to you. So just try to decorate whatever you are writing down. Okay, and this can be a practice. Am I audible? I think I just got disconnected. um You can put your own affirmations and decorate the page. This will be your assignment, and you can keep it as a visual reminder about your self-worth. Okay, so this is also an art-based therapy, wherein art-based therapy tool, wherein you are affirming you are in a particular way, and visually representing it will kind of glue it to your self-esteem. Okay, so whenever you write that affirmation, make it a point that you put it up somewhere. okay, in order to see. The most good thing to do is in and around your mirror. Okay, paste those post-its. If you can write it on post-its and decorate with sketch pens, colors, something small, and glue it on the edge of the mirror. So every morning when you get up, uh, it would be wonderful to see so many affirmations. And mind it, do not write anything which is false about you. Okay, so say for instance you are a highly anxious person. Okay, you have stage fright, you have certain inhibitions talking to other people. If you write that I'm very confident, it is a false information. You're passing it to yourself very subliminally. So whatever you're writing, it should align with whatever is true for you. And then gradually, when you achieve your smaller goals or micro goals, when you are able to talk to someone without inhibitions, maybe that's a micro achievement for you. You can, at that point of time, write down that, yes, I was successful or I am successful in striking conversation. So that is also an affirmation. It may not be a very fancy one. Okay, so on post-its or on smaller sheets of paper, if you can write it, decorate it in your own way, that's the art therapy part, and paste it somewhere you can visually revisit it every day. You can have your diary, you can have your softboard, you can have your mirror, but make it a point that is visual. Okay, it gets back to you every single day. So this is one assignment which you need to work on. I've given you 2 to 3 assignments, I guess. Whichever is feasible, at least try to do 2 of them. If not feasible, then at least try to work on later on as well. You know, take this learning further, practice it more often, because 1.5 hours is not good enough time to actually experience the tools and understand how it's going to be, catered to. So try practicing it, get back with your feedback, get back with your, even suggestions about these tools in the group, and we can always connect and find out from each other that, yes, this is my question. I had a question in mind and I want to ask it in the group. So you're most welcome about that. So any questions before I sum up our entire course? Today is the last day, and I'm so glad so many of you all participated, interacted with us, and stayed with us. So any questions before we close this? Apart from the assignment, I'll be telling you about the assignment. Okay, I guess there are no questions. In that case, we'll be sending you a common assignment link, which will have O3's, Gargi's, and mine assignments listed out. Mm, With that link, you can submit it within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll give you a deadline. You can submit it there. And from there, we will be dispatching your certificates. But certificates will be only given to people who are submitting assignments, because we don't want just to give out certificates for the sake of, giving out. And, kind of increasing our count. It has to be authentically done. If you're facing any problem, any point of time with the assignments, or you have a time crunch, you can always request a spillover time for the deadline. But make it a point that you work on this and learn from this rather than just listening and then forgetting about it. Okay. So it was lovely meeting all of you, and I took a lot of time, and I'm very sorry for it. But thanks a lot from the bottom of our hearts, from the entire team of Emojar. Yes, Ashwin, ma'am, tell me.
So, ma'am, like this week, sir said, Atri sir, I guess, Atri Das sir, the one
Yes,
classes.
yes,
So, I guess for sir gave us the limit of this week. So, can it be a little bit
yes, we'll
extended?
stretch it. We'll stretch it.
Thank
We'll
you,
give you
ma'am.
approximately 2 weeks' time in order to complete. And once we get all the assignments, we are going to dispatch the certificates.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Anything else? So I'll be sending you my notes and the PPT in the group or through the mail. And we'll get back if there are any questions in mind. We'll get back as a group again. So take care, all of you. I hope you have learned from this whole series of classes, and I'm glad that you are all here. Thanks a lot again. Thanks a lot, and take care. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, all of you. Take care. Bye.
Take care, ma'am.
You too. Bye.